4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the second round of the Steel Titan Cup. We have a lot of trucks with us here, not on Rainbow Stadium since there are so many to cover for each race, and we're going to take a look at the track pretty early on. As you can see here, we have a shipping container right at the center with 2 barrels accompanying it. Some crush cars right at the front, back, and center, as well as a center pod, our traditional jumps, and our dirt jumps as well. We also have our crush car wall right towards the finish line, so there's going to be a lot of crashing and a lot of destruction going on this track. And as I said before, we are here at the second round. We are here for the second round of the Steel Titan Cup. As I said before, there are so many trucks for the second round of the Steel Titan Cup that they cannot fit all together in Rainbow Stadium, but we do have a better visual of the track, so here it is right there. Before we proceed to the second round of the Steel Titan Cup, I just want to point out something that I forgot to put at the very end of the Series Red video. Here are your round 2 winners of round 2 of the regular season. Black Pearl, Captain's Curse, Monster Mutt, Recreation, Iron Man, Hooked, and the blue Velociraptor. Congrats to our winners from round 2, and we'll see you in round 3. Before we proceed to round 3, we have to get through the Steel Titan Cup, the prestigious tournament and probably the longest and biggest tournament, biggest diecast tournament that we've ever had here on the channel, and probably the biggest one out of any other diecast channel. So here is the lineup for the second round of the Steel Titan Cup, otherwise known as the 128, the first half of the 128. We have Time Flies, the Kaleidoscope Megalodon, Fastrovan, Kraken, Green Ghost Gravedigger, Soldier Fortune, Raising Cane, Night Storm, Pirate's Curse, Storm Damage, Rainbow Blast, Bounty Hunter, Bad News Charles Bass, Lunatics, Salvager, Fire Rescue, Higher Education, Monster Dalmatian Ice, Yeti, Big Kahuna, Soldier Fortune Black Ops, Son of a Digger, Full Charge, Monster Husky, Crush Cycle, Black Pearl, the Golden Maximum Destruction, Northern Nightmare, Monster Mutt, Harley Quinn, Superman, Bulldozer, Zombie Biker, Flash, The Amazing Spider-Man, Axe, Black Panther, Backwards Bob, Alien Invasion, Racing Stripes, King Sling, and Escalade, Captain's Curse, Pure Muscle, Samson, Shield, Agents of Shield Truck. We also have Blue Thunder, Queen Bee, Hooked, Cyclops, Holographic Bad Company, Monster Poodle, Wildfire, Godzilla, the Monster Jam Stunt Truck, Ranger Rescue, Gravedigger the Legend, Wasabi Warrior, Catastrophe, Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, Grandma Gravedigger, Tropical Thunder, FS1 Cletus, and last but not least, we have Thunderbus. Remember, this is the first half of the 128. The second half will be featured at the very end of round 3 of the regular season. As you can see, there is a lot of trucks here. There's not a lot of special schemes for this first half, but the second half will feature much more special schemes along your way. So, with that being said, we're going to transition on to the first race of the Steel Titan Cup. As we get things started for the second round of the Steel Titan Cup, we have Oliver Lee and Time Flies, who will face Justin Parker in the Kaleidoscope Megalodon. Let's see which one of these drivers will win the first match of the second round. As they are ready to go down the track, you can see that Kaleidoscope Megalodon gets the big air and makes a clean finish with a perfect drift as well. What a way to start things off for the second round of the Steel Titan Cup, as Justin Parker moves on to the third round. And as we progress on to the next race, we have James Wilson and Fastrovan, who will face Violet Craddock and Kraken. Let's see which one of these racers will face Justin Parker. As they're ready to go down the track, you can see James Wilson in the lead, but he slips, and you can see that Violet Craddock makes the escape, and she will make it to the third round, defeating James Wilson and Fastrovan. Now we're going to move things further to the third race. We have Weston Anderson and the Green Ghost Gravedigger facing Caleb Blood and Soldier Fortune. We have two fellow drivers facing each other. Let's see which one comes out on top as they're ready to go down the track. Weston Anderson struggling, and Caleb Blood will make it past Weston Anderson as she pulls the upset, the first upset of the night. And we're going to move on to the next race right here. We have John Ramirez in Raising Cane facing Freddie Powell in Night Storm. As we wait for these trucks to head down, you can see that they're ready to go. Down to the track they go. You can see Nightstorm is in the lead there. And look at Raising Cane. They hit the ramp, but they're slowly driving towards the finish line. And you can see that Nightstorm failed on that one. I think the win is going to go to Raising Cane after they slowly make it to the finish line. And it doesn't seem like Nightstorm is going to get up anytime soon. Moving on, we're going to move on to the next race. We have Zachary Cunningham in Pirate's Curse facing Damian Bass in the Stone Crusher. Pirate's Curse was the defending champion of the Steel Titan Cup. Let's see if they can defend it there. And no, it's not going to happen. And Stone Crusher will dethrone the defending champion of the Steel Titan Cup. Pirate's Curse is out. And with this, we're going to move on to the next race. We're here, Riley Williams and Rainbow Blast facing Ethan Black and Bounty Hunter. Let's see which one of these drivers will win. As you can see, they're both neck and neck with each other, and Riley Williams slips, and you can see Ethan Black will make it past, and they will make it to the third round of the Steel Titan Cup. Now we're going to move on to the next race here. A lot of good stuff happening around here. We have Aiden Garcia in the Banner Charles Fast facing Lexi Rose and Lunatic. As we wait for these drivers, they're heading down to the track. You can see Lexi Rose is in the lead there, but look at Aiden Garcia. They make the comeback, and you can see some crazy stuff happening right there. And Lexi Rose will not make it to the finish line, and therefore suffer the loss against Aiden Garcia. And we're going to move on to the next race. We have Kai Scott II and Salvager facing Xander Love in Fire Rescue. Let's see which one of these drivers will make it. As they're ready to go down the track, you can see that Xander Love is in the lead there. What a front flip save, and they're going to definitely make it to the finish line. Looks like Kai Scott II is struggling in the background. As you can see that their truck did not make it to the other side. We're going to move on here with Felix Spray in Higher Education facing Charlotte Watson in the Mossberg Dalmatian Ice. And we're ready to go down the track. You can see both of these trucks are ahead. You can see that Charlotte Watson is in the lead, and she will hit the crush cars, but she will cross the finish line with her two front tires, leaving Felix Spray in the dust. We're going to move on to our next race here. It is going to be an interesting one here. We have Rosie Raymer in Yeti facing Hannah Spencer in the new Big Kahuna body that was used in the second round of the Series Red regular season. Let's see how Hannah Spencer performs with that new body. As they're ready to go down the track, you can see Yeti struggling in the background, and look at Hannah Spencer as she makes it. She makes a hard hit on the wall, but regardless, she makes it past, and we'll move on to the third round. Things are about to get really interesting here for the second round of the Steel Titan Cup. As you can see, we have Tony Oaks and Soldier Fortune Black Ops facing Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger. We have two fellow drivers facing each other. Let's see how that performs in this race. You can see that Tony Oaks is in the lead, but he slips at the very beginning, and you can see Ryan Anderson will make it past, and he will make it to the third round of the Steel Titan Cup. Look at Tony Oaks' truck in the background as they're on top of the center pod. And we're going to move on further with our next race. Jessica Woods in Full Charge facing Elizabeth Jennings and Mossberg Husky. Let's see how these two trucks perform. And you can see they're ready to go down the track. You can see Elizabeth in the lead there, but she makes a sidewall. But look at Full Charge. They catch up, and that is going to be another upset. The World Finals and Super Cup champion has been eliminated by Jessica Woods with an upset like no other. And we're going to move on further to the next race. We have Mason Hawkins in Crush Cycle facing Colvinard and Black Pearl. Mason is driving the green Crush Cycle. Let's see how they perform, or will the curse continue for him? Let's see. And you can see that Colvinard is in the lead there, and it's going to be a very close race. And it seems like it's going to be a very, very tight race for these two. We're going to have to go for the replay on this one. And you can see here that Colvinard had the lead, but you can see Mason Hawkins caught up there with Colvinard. Here's the super slow-mo. You could see that Colvinard did get the lead there, but is that going to be enough for him? Yes, it is, and Colvinard will move on to the next round, and Mason Hawkins will continue carrying on the curse for him. And we're going to move on to our next race. As you can see, we have Isaac Holland in the Gold Maximum Destruction body facing Abigail McQueen in Northern Nightmare. These two have faced each other before, but let's see how they perform here. You can see that Abigail McQueen gets some big air, and there's something going on with her, and Isaac Holland makes a comeback, but I don't know who's going to win this one. It might be a close race. It might be another one. So we're going to go for the replay and see what happened. You can see that Abigail did get the big air. You can see Isaac Holland caught up. Abigail hit that crush car. Let's go for the slow-mo. You can see she hit the crush car, but I think she hit the finish line way before that. We're going to go for the super slow-mo. Isaac Holland crossed first, but look at Abigail McQueen. She landed up, but then landed on the finish line. Here's the photo finish. And this has not happened before, but the win is going to go to Isaac Holland in the gold maximum destruction, since Northern Nightmare did not touch the finish line. Therefore, she'll be out. And for the next one, we have Chris Kohler in Monster Ride, who will face Christine Lauritsen and Harley Quinn. Let's see which driver will win this race here. You can see Christine is in the lead right there. You can see Chris Kohler struggling in the background, and Christine will make it past Chris Kohler and Monster Mutt. Not a good position to be in for Chris Kohler, as he won Series Orange for round 2. It's not a good look for him. So we're going to move on to Jake Hopkins in Superman facing Blake Wood and Bulldozer. We're just about waiting for these two trucks to come down. You can see that they're both neck and neck. You can see some big air between Superman, and they will cut Bulldozer short. And looks like Superman will cross the finish line. I think something happened to Bulldozer. I'm not too sure. We're going to let the technicians handle that one. With the next race, we have Nicholas Burns facing Gabriel Burns in both Flash and the Biker Zombie. Let's see how these two perform. Looks like the Burns duo are going down to the track. You can see that Gabriel Burns struggles in the back, and Nicholas Burns will make it to the finish line, defeating Gabriel Burns, the second Burns driver of the entire series. And we're going to move on to Maxwell Parker in The Amazing Spider-Man facing Reed Schwartz in Axe. Maxwell didn't get a good result last time, but let's see if that changes everything here. And it's not going to happen as he slips. And you can see Reed Schwartz, he makes the save and will cross the finish line first. Another upset in the books, as Spider-Man is on that list for upsets happening in the second round. As we got our next race, Barry Musauer and Black Panther facing Mikey Merton and Backwards Bob. Mikey Merton didn't do well last time either, but let's see if that changes something for him. As you can see, Black Panther struggles, and it's going to be an easy win for Mikey Merton, and he does cross the finish line, dangerously parking right at the edge of the stadium. But regardless, they move on to the next race. We got our next one, Cameron Barrett and Alien Invasion facing Stella Sorenza in Racing Stripes. And the green light is lit, and they're ready to go down the track. You can see they're both neck and neck. Decent air by Stella Sorenza, and you can see Cameron Barrett crashes sideways, and Stella will move on to the next round in the process. And we have our next race on hand. And just as we wait for a little moment, we have Dennis Holman in King Sling facing Michael Perry in an Escalade. And as we wait for the green light, and they're ready to go down the track, Michael Perry's in the lead there, gets some decent air. Dennis tries to catch up, but he hits the crush cars, and he does cross the finish line, but it's not going to be enough as Michael Perry defeats Dennis Holman in the process. We're going to keep moving on to the next races here, as we got our next one on hands. It is Jacob Barnes in Captain's Curse facing William Day in Pure Muscle. We have the recent champion of Series Purple facing a runner-up of Series Cyan from both the second round. Let's see which one comes out on top. You can see that Jacob Barnes crashes, and you can see that William Day makes it to the finish line, ignoring Jacob Barnes in the process. So it seems like the runner-up is doing better than the winner. And we're going to move on to our next race. We have Peter Marshall and Samson facing Dominic Lawson in the Shield truck. Let's see which one comes out on top. As you can see that they're both neck and neck. You can see Samson in the lead there, but they struggle. And look at the Shield truck. They make it past Samson, and they will land upside down, but it doesn't matter, as Shield will move on to the fourth round of the Steel Titan Cup. All hands on deck for this next race as we have Walker Stevens and Blue Thunder facing Queen Bee. That is supposed to say Chloe Watts, not Dominic Lawson. That is an error, so I apologize. But we're going to move on to this race. As you can see that Chloe Watts is in the lead. She gets some decent air. Walker Stevens catches up, but it's not going to be enough, and he lands sideways, knowing that he's just not having it for this one, as his luck is not the best for this season. Chloe Watts, though, on the other hand, will move on to the fourth round. And we wait for the next races. We have Raymer Hansen in Hooked, who was the winner of Round 2 of Series Blue, facing Cyclops Hobbies and Cyclops. And the green light is lit as they're both neck and neck. You can see that Raymer Hansen faces some issues. You can see that Cyclops will make it to the finish line with one tire, regardless if it touched or not. It looks like it did, so Cyclops Hobbies will move on to the 4th round of the Steel Titan Cup. And we have our next race in just a moment. We have Patrick Gordon and the Holographic Bad Company facing Lola Holland in Mossmart Poodle. We're just about to find out which one of these drivers will move on to the 4th round. You can see they're both down at the track. You can see that Patrick Gordon gets some decent air. Look at Lola Holland. She catches up, and it looks to be a very close race. We have another one on our hands, so we're going to go for the replay and see what happened. Just as you see here, Lola Holland crashes, but while Patrick Gordon gets some decent air, it is going to be a big close finish here. Really close one here. So we're going to go for the slow-mo. You could see Patrick Gordon pushes Lola Holland, but he crosses the finish line, and Lola Holland makes it to the other side as well. So we're going to go for the super slow-mo. Look at the way the truck crashes, and look at the Holographic Bad Company truck crossing the finish line first. And we're just about to see the photo finish. That is very close. So it's going to be the same thing that happened to Abigail McQueen there, except they didn't touch the finish line as well. They did make it further, but the win is going to go to Patrick Gordon by default. Not sure if we're going to ever get some really good camera visuals of the finish line, but hopefully we get those soon. But we got Jaden Scott and Wildfire facing Kyoto Kenshin and Godzilla. And we're going to get this race started. As you can see, that Kyoto Kenshin is in the lead, but look at Jaden Scott. They make it further. And I am getting word that both trucks are totaled, so they're going to go for the farthest one, and that is going to go to Jaden Scott, the rookie here. And we're going to go to the next race. We have Emily Spencer in the stunt truck facing Muna Al-Saman in Ranger Rescue. Let's see which one of these drivers will get to the next round. As you can see, that Emily Spencer struggles, and look at that save by Muna Al-Saman. Same thing again. It looks like both trucks are shut off at the moment, but the win will go to Muna Al-Saman in Ranger Rescue. And we're going to move on to the next race. We have Adam Anderson in the Legend facing Sujita Chise and Wasabi Warrior. Let's see which one of these drivers will move on. And the green light is lit. We're ready to go down the track. You can see Adam Anderson avoiding the crash by Sujita Chise, and he makes a perfect drift as well, just like Justin Parker in the very beginning of the Steel Titan Cup. So Adam Anderson will move on. We have our next race on hands. We have Arita Adesina in Catastrophe facing Bryce Kenny and Mohawk Warrior. Let's see which one of these trucks will move on. Down the track they go. As you can see that Arita's in the lead there, but look at Bryce Kenny. He catches up. He nudges to Arita's truck and cuts her off, and he will cross the finish line, defeating Arita in the process. And we have our next race. We have Kristen Anderson in the Grandma Gravedigger facing Phoebe Richards in Tropical Thunder. We have this is our second to last race, so let's see which one of these will move on. You can see that Kristen Anderson catches up, and she will crash. And look at Phoebe Richards. She makes it to the finish line, defeating Kristen Anderson in that Grandma Gravedigger. That is another upset that I've ever seen. And we have our final race of the Steel Titan Cup for the second round. We have Levy Green and FS1 Cletus facing Apollo Khan in Thunderbus. Let's make this last race worth it. And the green light is lit. They're both down at the track. You can see they're both neck and neck. And it looks like FS1 Cletus loses control, and it's going to be a close race between Thunderbus and FS1 Cletus. So we're going to go for the final replay of the second round. Let's see what happened here. You can see that both trucks are neck and neck. You can see that flip by FS1 Cletus. They both make it to the finish line. Again, we're going to go for the super slow-mo just to see what happened. It is a very close race here. And we do have a photo finish of that one, and you can see FS1 Cletus will move on to the fourth round of the Steel Titan Cup just by a tire chunk right there. And that is going to be the end of round 2 for the Steel Titan Cup, aka the 128. Here's a preview of what's to come for the Surviving 64. So here are your trucks that made it past the second round of the Steel Titan Cup. We have Kaleidoscope Megalodon, Blue Kraken, Soldier Fortune, Raising Cane, Stone Crusher, Bounty Hunter, Bounty Turtles Fast, Fire Rescue, Mossberg Dalmatian Ice, Big Kahuna, Son of a Digger Full Charge, Black Pearl, Gold Maximum Destruction, Harley Quinn, Superman, Biker Zombie Axe, Backwards Bob, Racing Stripes, An Escalade, Pure Muscle, Shield Truck, Queen Bee, Cyclops, Holographic Bad Company, Wildfire, Ranger Rescue, Gravedigger the Legend, Mohawk Warrior, Tropical Thunder, and FS1 Cletus. And here is a preview of what's to come for the second half of the 128, aka Round 3. And here are the trucks that are competing for the second half of the 128 that will come up after the third round of the regular season. With the conclusion of the second round of the Steel Titan Cup, lots of upsets occurred, as well as some crazy moments, as well as some chaos happening around our drivers, but things are about to get interesting once we get to the second half of the 128. So with this, we're going to conclude things off here. Thank you so much for watching. This is Rainbow X, and we will see you on the flip side, where we will finally return to diecast reviews.